welcome back to the channel, and today we are continuing our breastfeeding series with a game and some myths.
So yeah, I'm sure most people have seen by now that there is a game, what do you call it? Trend, I guess. The gibberish game. It's popular on Instagram. It's a little thing that shows up over your head. Has some words, and when you say them and pronounce them, you're supposed to be able to guess like another phrase or set of words or something like that. So we're gonna play that, and then we have 11 breastfeeding myths that we're gonna talk about afterwards.
Yep. So because we're not on social media at this very moment, we're going to play on the laptop here. But I'm sure that our editor is going to do something amazing with making it pop up somewhere. So here we go.
Are we just going to take turns?
I think we guess at the same time. So we have 15 questions. We've got 25 seconds to answer them. It's a mix of categories.
No idea what it's going to say.
No idea what it's going to tell us. Let's begin.
Okay, ready?
Here we go. Tabith hug egg. Tabith hug egg.
Shoot.
Tabith hug egg. I have no idea.
Tabith.
3 words.
Hug egg.
Pour the beer. Tap
the keg.
Tap the keg. Yep, tap the keg.
Definitely needed a hint that time.
We
were getting some with
tap the egg. I'm not supposed to say keg.
The kegs. The kegs. Okay.
Okay. Calm heat at tea. Calm heat at tea.
And it's 3 words?
3 words.
These are a lot harder than the ones we were getting earlier.
They are. Calm heat at tea. Labeled father?
You're going to have to go back to easy. Was there a different?
Call me daddy.
I would not have gotten that one.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sometimes the hints are really funny.
Sometimes.
Damn, that one's hard. His cat cannot inner ear. His cat cannot. I'm trying to. His cat
can otter inner ear.
We suck. We were doing really good before we started.
His cat.
Nelly.
Nelly.
You have to change this and go back a level or something.
It's getting hot in here.
What?
His cat cannot hurt in.
I guess.
Oh man.
We were doing way better before. Okay.
You guys are in.
Sigh, burp, pulley in. Sigh, burp, pulley in.
I don't. Cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying.
Yep. Virtual villain. Did we get it before that came up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right as it came up.
Yeah, right. Well, you know.
Whatever.
It counts.
Okay.
Or whole eggs.
Sorry, that one just sounds funny.
Or whole eggs.
Yeah. Or
whole eggs.
Or holes eggs.
Legs? Something legs? Going down.
Well, it doesn't have the right amount of dashes for what I'm thinking.
No.
Oh, see, I was gonna say oral sex, and
That's how that goes. It's the other way around.
I really was gonna say oral sex, but the lettering. Okay. Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
Hey, yeah, I think it's Hey Siri.
I don't even have an iPhone. Okay.
Can we make the answer pop up quicker? Nope. All right, well, personal assistant.
That's funny.
Good news, we didn't set my phone off.
That's good.
We may have set other people's phones off. Hey, Siri.
Yeah, we got that one. So we've got like what, 2 out of the
3.
Oh, all right. Oh,
2, 3.
That he issues. Daddy issues.
Yes. I agree with that.
And now we wait. Because 25 seconds isn't long enough when you can't guess it. And then when you do guess it, it's like
It's a
right
long
at the beginning. It's
time.
like you gotta wait a long time.
Yeah.
Father probs. The hints are funny.
This website is playgibberish.com, by the way.
Daddy issues. All right, so that's 5. You've gotten 5. 4.
4, I think. If we're wrong, I'm sure there will be a tally or something.
Dime.
Roman.
Dime.
Dimes New Roman. Dimes New Roman.
Times New Roman.
Yes. Times New
MLA
Roman.
format. Also, I kind of hurt my hands a little just then. I got over.
Flipping too hard?
Yeah, a little.
Times New Roman.
Sometimes when someone else says it, it's a lot easier to guess.
Yeah.
I was listening to you and I'm like, oh, I know what it is.
Aim his own burr rhyme. Aim his own burr rhyme. Aim his own
Burr rhyme.
Bezos.
The fuck?
Girl.
I have no idea what
No
this
idea.
one is.
No idea. Amazon Prime.
My god.
We suck.
We definitely should have been able to get
You
that
know,
one.
Bezos, the like
Oh,
billionaire.
Wind her Ritz come
Come
ink.
Winder Ritz.
Wonder
Snow.
winter is coming.
Winter is coming. Okay.
Damn.
Winter is
Somebody's watching this going, duh. Not Game of Thrones fans.
No. No. Winter is coming. All right.
Damn.
Oh, that's all right. I'm glad we didn't do just pop culture. Highlight Kiturov.
I
like it rough.
Oh, I keep forgetting this is one word. That's right. Yeah, I agree.
ROUGH. Yep.
Yep.
Well, this is awkward.
Now we just get to sit here and stare.
This is a mixed deck, by the way.
You can choose not to have these kinds.
It's a mix of kinky, pop culture, and
Party.
No. What does it say?
Oh,
That I got
blurry.
that one pretty quickly. His cat to knot in her ear.
We're blurry.
Did we already do this one?
Maybe early. No, yeah. What was the answer?
I don't know. We are blurry. What
Fix
happened?
this.
Nelly, it's getting hot in here. What happened? That doesn't count. We already had that one.
Yep. Oh, yeah, things already.
When did we get blurry?
Show cycle. I don't know. Just recently, though, I think. Show cycle.
Show cycle.
It's all one word.
Bike club. Motorcycle?
No way.
No.
Show cycle.
Soul cycle.
Fix it.
I'm
Fix
trying.
it. That's not working. Polycum me. Polygamy.
Polygamy.
Why do we look like that?
I don't know. This is what happens when we don't have our camera guy here. Sometimes.
Free bird.
I don't know if that's...
That's a super funny.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not what it is.
No, it's
okay.
polygamy.
All right, we're got 2 rounds left. Blurry. Okay. Is it focusing on that? There it goes. Oh. Boo buzz wet. Boo buzz wet.
Boob sweat.
Boob sweat. Yep. Well, that's appropriate.
You guys been on our Instagram?
Hot cleavage.
You guys been on our Instagram recently? There's a post about that.
Sort of. Not about that
Deep
specifically.
sweat. All right, well,
One more round.
I think that was the last one. 15?
It just changed to 15, didn't it? Winner is
Winner is
we
Momestly
win.
Me. Woohoo! We won. Yay.
So we decided, well, I really wanted to play this game, so I kind of made Melinda do it. But I thought it was a good introduction to talking about the other gibberish, or parts of the gibberish of being a mom, which is some breastfeeding myths.
So I'm going to save this video clip while we talk about it.
Yeah, so first of all, to make a list of only 10, there are so many. But you know, if you watched our video with you know, the two parts that we did with the lactation consultant, we kind of talked about some things, not like necessarily saying this is the myth and this is the truth, but just talking about some of those things. And I think we hear so much before we even have kids. Like, I basically, like, when we made the list, we just kind of went through and picked ones that we heard or the ones that we felt were, I guess, like the most common.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, some of them are definitely, my list is over here.
Mine's over there.
Some of them are definitely some things that I was told.
Yeah.
Like after, you know, baby was born and all that jazz. I'm going to close this.
That's fine.
I'm going to put this here.
Okay.
So, all right. You starting or am I?
You starting.
I'm starting. The first one I have is, by the way, this is my notepad. Is don't nurse if there's blood. Which sounds like it would probably be true, right?
Yeah, that would be one. If I heard it, I would be like, well, duh, of course not.
Yeah, no, like, why would you nurse if there's blood in your milk?
Yeah.
First of all, there's probably plenty of times that all of us have nursed and there's been blood in our milk, but we had no idea. Unless you're pumping or you, like,
Yeah.
there's some that seeps out of their mouth or something.
Yeah, drips or something.
I don't think you're going to know. But there's also this thing called rusty pipe syndrome, which I had not heard of that before.
Yeah, me either.
Where apparently it's common. It can be common in like the first week after you have a baby. That makes sense. Like, especially if you've had a previous baby.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I think that's probably when it was more common.
Right. And so
rusty pipes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, if they say that if it lasts for longer than a week, then talk to your doctor, of course. But also, like, I don't know if you guys have ever had a cracked nipple, but TMI, I have a permanent crease on one of mine from before we got Aria's tongue revised.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she got some, you know, pink milk. And it probably didn't taste like strawberries, but she was fine. And I was told, you know, if you have cracked nipples or things like that, you're still going to be nursing. You're going to, like, not as much, and you're going to do things to try to help it heal. But, I mean, while they're healing,
Yeah, the goal is not
bleed.
to just stop. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. So
That makes sense. So that's one.
it's okay if there's blood.
Yep.
They're tiny vampires anyways. What you got?
Like everything vampires, not just blood vampires. I didn't need glasses until I had a kid. So mine is that you shouldn't breastfeed after you get vaccinations.
Okay.
And that means for the mother, that's not the child.
Right.
So like I had to have my rubella. That's the R in MMR, right? Rubella.
Yes.
I had to have a rubella. I keep worrying. I'm saying it wrong. Rubella. I had to have a booster after I gave birth and while I was in the hospital because my antibodies for it were really low. I don't even know how that happens, but anyway.
Been a long time since you had that one, maybe.
Yeah, that's an early one. But anyway, so I had to have that. But so the general myth is that you can't nurse for 24 hours after you have vaccination. It's actually not true. There's nothing in the vaccines that are going to harm the baby, make them sick or anything. The only exception being that if you have a child that is immunocompromised, then that is something you would probably try to avoid because that could definitely have an effect.
Well, and immunocompromised infants, you generally delay vaccines because their
because
bodies
they can't
their
handle
bodies
it.
can't handle them yet.
So that would be the only exception to that one. But otherwise, if you happen to have a vaccine after your child is born and you're breastfeeding, you can continue to do so.
If you're breastfeeding
right away.
I mean,
I'm so fucking tired, you guys. I've been up literally all day.
It's okay.
Fun fact, Angel had an interview today and got a job.
Yes.
But I am so tired from, I think, that whole process and like being excited.
Yes.
You guys have been here. The kids have played. Like we've been doing stuff. So I'm like,
we've been here for hours.
For a while. Thankfully, we didn't lose power this time. I was going to tell you,
Hey.
you don't even let it come over anymore. The last time it rained when y'all were here,
We're just
we
going to
lost power.
stop bringing storms with us.
Yeah. But yeah, so,
but yeah. Like, I had Tdap in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. So I
definitely nursing in the hospital.
But I think, but see, that was one that I had heard as well. That at the time I thought, oh, okay. Maybe. But I mean, you don't have to waste your milk. You don't have to pump and dump.
No.
Yep.
All right. The next one is it's normal for breastfeeding to hurt.
That's a big one.
Okay, so my thing with this is always like day 2 in the hospital, the pediatrician called me from the nursery and said, "Does it hurt when you're nursing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it hurts when I'm nursing." But I've heard like, oh,
it
hurts. It hurts when you're nursing and you just become like, used to it and stuff. But it's not supposed to hurt when you're nursing. It hurt when I was nursing because she was using her gums and like making the milk come. But when you have a proper latch and it is what it when you have a proper
it's
latch.
Boob month.
It is boob month. I don't like, but when you have
They'd be really curious to know about our nude lipstick conversation that we had.
Oh, it's not important. Anyway. So when you have a proper latch and suction, I mean, pressure.
There's definitely pressure. That's usually how because I always tell, like when they were helping me learn, like when Dawn was helping me learn, I was like, oh, I can feel the difference.
Yes,
like you can feel, when there's like something coming out. Like,
and like when she was after the tongue thing, like it was relearning for her because she couldn't use her tongue to latch properly. So, I could definitely tell and like know how to reposition and things like that. So it's not supposed to be painful. If
usually
there's pain,
means something's
going
either inside or with the latching itself, or there's something going on.
Yep.
My next one is, this one's one of my favorites. Breast size impacts milk production and ability to breastfeed. Not true. So some people have been told that their breasts are so small that there's no way they're going to be able to breastfeed. And then other people are told that because they're top heavy that it's going to suffocate the baby and the baby's not going to be able to latch.
Heather mentioned inverted nipples and things like that. But...
So the way that your breasts are designed in terms of how they look, what their size is, like that actually doesn't have any impact on your ability. Now, it's a lot heavier to lift it up maybe sometimes to like position it and stuff like that. But otherwise, your breast size has no impact on your ability to breastfeed.
Right. The only thing that would have an impact on your ability to breastfeed is if your body doesn't produce enough, or if you've had a mastectomy and you've had the milk ducts are gone.
Well, but that's like,
that's different. I even know of people, like I used to think that I've been told, like if you got breast implants, you can't nurse.
Not true.
That's not true.
That was actually another myth that came up, but I figured since we were talking about breast size, but augmentation, surgeries, anything like that on your breast, you can still breastfeed as long as there's nothing that.
As long as the ducts are still connected,
We got rusty pipes, connected ducts.
Connected ducts. Oh, I'm gonna have to call a plumber.
That's where all those jokes came from. Okay.
Hey, the next one I have is that you should only eat bland food while you're breastfeeding. Let me tell you, that is not what I did, and you don't have to do that. Like, you don't. So there's like the scientific side of it, but basically, once you eat your food and it becomes milk, most of the stuff is gone anyways.
Yep.
Unless it's those major allergens of peanuts, shellfish, dairy, soy, and gluten I think that was one of the ones too, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. I know people who have had sensitivities with that.
Well, I mean, to
but
be fair, I think it said etc., but it's, I mean, it just lists like the main ones.
the
nuts
major
and the-
allergens, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, it doesn't. There are people that is their culture of what they eat is spicy food all the time.
Yep. And we actually read in part of it. There was like an article that talked about like how they've actually done studies that kind of lean towards the suggestion that babies actually prefer garlicky milk over milk that isn't garlic. They don't know why, but that's just something that seems to be a correlation.
Yeah, I mean,
that they have found, and that had to do with them studying women who breastfeed in India.
But I mean, if you think about it, like women in India, like they eat spicy curries a lot.
A lot.
And that's that's what they eat. And I mean, Hispanic cultures where they eat a lot of spicy foods. And babies nurse just fine. No aversions. The biggest thing is if you notice a change in your baby when after you eat something in particular, then it says to maybe try not eating that.
And see if it still have the same.
See if it still happens. But like the biggest ones were like broccoli. Broccoli causes gassy babies. I eat the crap out of some broccoli.
Yeah, it's actually not.
That didn't
there's nothing to prove that. Yeah.
All right, what you got?
Oh, it's my turn?
It's your turn.
Oh no. Oh, that breastfeeding makes clingy and dependent babies. I think it makes clingy and dependent moms sometimes.
Maybe.
But no, so I think this kind of falls under the same stuff of like, you're holding the baby too much. Like breastfeeding is meant to be a nurturing experience for your child. It's meant to be an intimate connection. And I think that people assume that because you have to do it so often.
Sure.
Or because kids, and even after, like, especially if you breastfeed past like 2, then the older the kids get, they do the pulling on the shirt stuff and they do like that kind of thing. And I think that sometimes people translate that into, oh, they're just really clingy and dependent.
But I mean, sometimes babies just prefer mom because the smell of mom and familiarity of mom as a living being is comforting. Yeah. You know? But then there are other babies that are like, nope, give me the milk and I would like somebody else.
Well, I did. I went through this weird time with Oliver where I started to notice that all of a sudden he was like really, like he required to be held all the time. Mm-hmm. And I did worry because I didn't want him to be too, dependent. I wanted, I like encourage his independence so much. It's not fun for me, but I do encourage it. But that had nothing to do, that was way after we breastfed. Like he didn't, I mean, he definitely liked me, and I'm not joking. I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids do this, but when they're ready to eat and you walk by, they just stare at your chest. They're like, but no, it doesn't encourage dependence, and it doesn't encourage clinginess. And I think people who call babies clingy is a bit silly anyway, because they literally require us to help them live.
I mean, they are like,
they can do nothing.
They're designed. They are designed to find a way to survive. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's.
And we're it.
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What you got?
Speaking of being clingy, the next one I have is if you pump all the time, then your baby's not going to latch onto your boob anymore.
And they won't take the breast. Yeah.
And they won't take the breast.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Nope.
There are plenty of moms. In the beginning, I pumped a lot, and we nursed at the same time. When Angel went back to work,
we did both.
You pumped, so he had bottles during the day, but you nursed at night.
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't have any issues going back and forth
all the time. Like, that's not true. I mean, there are times babies might. Lazy sounds like a bad word to use, but
they are.
I mean,
it's instant gratification.
Yeah, it's so much easier to use a bottle than it is to pull milk out of a boob.
And the good thing is, so I did actually experience that with Oliver. Mm-hmm. When off and on throughout my own journey with breastfeeding, we did bottles. And one thing that seriously helped was changing the style of bottle we used so that he still had to fight for it.
And that's
he still had to try. And once he realized, Like, he was like, well, bitch, I guess I got to fight either way. So let's just do it and get it over with. Because he eventually, like, he
Yeah.
did adapt, and then I didn't have any issues. But I guess the bottles we originally had were just so easy
Well,
for
and
him to get milk out
something
of.
that I've realized is, you know, when you get those little bottles in your registry bags, those are not newborn nipples.
No,
those are size 1
those are
nipples.
ones, yeah.
You need size 0 nipples. So
Otherwise, it just flows out.
big tip for those moms that are doing registries right now. Or there's also some nipples have 3 different flows. It depends on how, it's a special kind of nipple. I think it's from Avent. But anyways, those little sample bottles though, those are not size 0 newborn nipples.
Yeah, you have
They're
to get
size
them.
1s.
We had to change. We had
didn't know
so
that.
many bottles that people had given us that came
Yeah.
in bags that we got samples of, and all of them were 1s.
And some of them look different, how they tell you that it's a 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you look at that. Also, we used the Kind, KINDE system. Anyways, you have to nurse the nipple to get the milk out. You can pump into the pouch, and the pouch goes in the thing, but the nipple has like a little bit of a harder area, and then the nipple, and it's like a boob, and you have to nurse it to get it out. It doesn't just free flow. And that's what we ended up using with her, and she loved it. Those were the only bottles that she
We used Dr.
really
Brown
liked.
in the beginning, and then we switched. When we went up to the 1, we switched to the Advent ones.
Avent?
There's a D in there. Is there not? Yeah, Advent calendars, I guess.
Avent,
whatever. Advent.
I don't know how you say them.
Bottles, and those worked for us.
Yeah.
So the next one is that you cannot get pregnant while you're breastfeeding.
Oh, it's not true.
Breastfeeding is not a form of birth control.
It is not.
So they say that you were less likely within the first 6 months of being postpartum and breastfeeding. The frequency, they feel like it might have something to do with it. But the other thing, of course, that's a contributing factor is whether you've gotten your period back or not. I didn't get that benefit from breastfeeding. My period came back 1 month after Oliver was born.
Yeah.
Good news, he did tilt my uterus though, so my cramps aren't as bad. But my period came back like right away. People were like, "Oh, and you won't have one," and I'm just staring at them like, not true.
That's not true.
But yeah, so if you don't want to have another baby at your 6-week checkup, I suggest talking about your birth control options.
And
or if you're like me, just don't let your partner touch you for a really long time. I was so scared of getting pregnant again. I'm not even exaggerating. I was so scared because my experience was so traumatic for me that I was like, don't even look at me.
Well, and that's why, like, even though we weren't sure if, like, because, you know, when you have the PCOS, sometimes your body's like, let's do it again. Sometimes it's like, no, we're just the same.
Yeah.
We didn't know, so that's why I got an IUD.
Well, and you can take, there is, if you prefer to take the pill option, there is a breastfeeding safe pill.
Yeah,
that's what I did until I couldn't stand it anymore. But
yeah.
You can absolutely get pregnant while breastfeeding.
In fact, a hairdresser that Angel's been going to for a long time, and that I recently went to for the first time. That happened to her. She was breastfeeding, and then apparently she was going to have a period, and she had a baby 9 months later. So,
yep,
that's cool. All right, the last one that I have is that you shouldn't nurse if you're sick. That's not true. Because, like, if you have a cold or something like that, continuing to nurse your baby, I mean, don't sneeze and cough in your baby's face. Number one, that's rude.
Yeah.
Number two, then you're definitely putting the germs, like, straight into them. But your breast milk has antibodies in it that help protect the baby against those things. So one of the things that my pediatrician definitely talked about with those first 2 months before they get any vaccines is that if you're breastfeeding, then they get your immunity and the antibodies from you that help protect them. I mean, the entire time they get that stuff from you. So if you're sick, you could be helping your child not get sick by continuing to breastfeed. There's always the chance. I mean,
Yeah.
that your whole house could get a cold or something. But you do not have to stop breastfeeding. In fact, with everything that's going on in the world right now, that's one of the things that I've seen recently is that moms who have have tested positive for the virus, um, they can still breastfeed their babies. That's the most thing. That's as of August 20th,
2020.
2020. That's the most current research that I have seen.
Is that yogurt on the pillow next to you?
I don't
just
know.
noticed. Oh my God.
Toddlers, man.
That's why my pictures are crooked.
But yeah, so if you're sick, you can still breastfeed your baby. Just don't cough in their faces.
That's rude.
That's rude. All right. What you have?
So the one that I have is that you shouldn't breastfeed if you have a clogged duct. So one of the reasons that you get clogged ducts is ducts. Ducks.
Are they in a row?
No, obviously not. You know what other word I can't say that unless I'm like really focused on it? Gasp.
Gasp?
Yeah, because if I say it too fast, I don't say the P. I don't know. But yeah, so one of the ways to avoid getting ducts, see,
Clogged
is
ducts.
by
Nursing,
breastfeeding.
yeah.
And then of course the other thing it also helps do is if you do have a clogged one and you're able to unclog it, it can also reduce the risk of infection.
Yeah.
So that's another big
And
one.
I mean, I have not had a clogged duct.
Thank God I didn't either.
I know people who have.
I've heard it's pretty rough.
And it can be real painful. Like I've had hard spots that I've had to like work through, but I wouldn't say that I ever got a clog at all.
You can make people scared to breastfeed. I'm just kidding.
Look, I mean, it happens sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah,
you need to like.
Well, and I know that you
do
can
some
use like
massage.
heat and stuff to like help, but yeah. But you should still do it.
Yeah, you should still do it because one of the things that can cause that is a change in
eating habits.
Which I was actually like, because we definitely did like 2 hours for several months, and then she went to 3 hours, and I'm like, oh, this is are you ready to eat yet? And I was a little bit like on the edge of like, I hope this doesn't happen to me.
Should have pumped it and then you could have donated it.
She ended up having to drink all of the milk that I pumped because, I had that week that was bad. Yeah. I did have milk that I would have been able to, but she ended up having to drink it.
And then our last myth, of course, is that, you want to try to say it at the same time?
No, it never works out if we try to say it at the same time.
You're right. Is that if you don't nurse, then you're a bad mom.
That is not true.
Not true.
You feed your baby however you need to, whatever works for them.
I definitely meant however, not whatever. Just so we're clear. Disclaimer, the people who are at Momestly are not professionals. Do not take their advice.
Breast milk, regular formula, soy formula,
whatever is age appropriate.
Whatever you feed, however you need to feed your baby. If you're feeding them, you're a good mom.
And that doesn't matter if something comes up and you're unable to, or if you just plain don't want to.
Yeah.
That's fine too. I know plenty of women that just didn't want to. Mm-hmm. And it is a really big commitment. It's a huge amount of a time sucker.
Yes.
And it requires
literally.
Yeah. Literally. It takes a lot of work, especially if you're a mom that's going to have to go back to work after however long. Like it's a really big commitment. You have to have, so let's see, what are our lessons from Breastfeeding Month 2020? You have to have a support system.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to reach out for a support system.
Right.
We still stand by fed is best.
Always. Fed is best regardless.
And I think the last thing is just do real research. Ask doctors, but like look into things yourself too, because you'll find articles about all of these myths. We'll link 2 of them below. This is where we pulled some of ours from, but there's others that we didn't even talk about that people are literally
so many of them
listening to and following all this advice, and it's old wives' tales or some so Breastfeeding Awareness Month, 2020.
2020. We made it. High five.
This was our first one.
Yes, you guys made it. High five.
Oh, Jesus.
And if you're breastfeeding right now, you made it. High five. If you're feeding your baby right now, you made it. High five. I mean, it's a lot of work. And so that's one of the reasons that there's a whole month dedicated to this and
there's just
week. And like, it's a big commitment and it requires a lot of support. But that is not to say that moms that bottle feed are not important, because you are. You're absolutely important.
Yeah.
Because the other side, like
I'm important.
You are important. But there's also, you know what? I'm going to pull it up.
While she's doing that, I'll make my note. The other thing that's really important about Breastfeeding Awareness Month is that it gives us an opportunity to shed light on things that aren't true about breastfeeding.
Yep.
It's not just an opportunity for us to be support figures for other moms, but it's an opportunity to say, no, this is incorrect and we need to learn from it. We need to create new normals about breastfeeding and motherhood. That was our whole thing, normalizing motherhood.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning of things that we have to work on.
We follow this page, and we'll link her below too. It's called Happy as a Mother.
Is that how you get it to not go away?
You hold your
That's
screen.
good to know.
When you're looking at
I'm
stories.
like, why do we type all this stuff out? I can't read it.
You just put your thumb on the screen and you hold it and you
Not
can read
social
it.
media whiz.
Okay, so she made this post, The Invisible Load of Motherhood Bottle Feeding Edition. And I feel like it's
Yeah.
important to mention it.
Yeah.
We talk about the difficulties of breastfeeding all the time. Like we as women,
Yeah.
we talk about it when we, feel
Well,
to
and
talk
I made
about
a point to talk in my video about how one of the things that was important to me was shedding light on moms who can't or
Yeah.
don't breastfeed.
Absolutely.
It's just as important to shed light on those moms
Yes.
as it is to the ones that do.
So these are a couple of things that she listed. Cleaning, okay, this is the invisible load of motherhood for bottle feeding. Cleaning and sterilizing all the things. Feeling like you need to explain yourself, which you don't. Okay? Guilt of feeling like you failed, which you did not. Dealing with the perception that you didn't try. Grief about breastfeeding. Feeling betrayed by your body. Finding the right formula and bottle. Judgment. Thinking ahead to make sure you don't run out. Making sure to pack enough bottles. The cost of formula.
Costs.
And dealing with breast is best comments.
I
feel like
think
that's
I went through
important.
every single one of those things.
Yeah. And I mean,
Every time I bought formula, I died a little inside. I was like,
So
for so
expensive.
many reasons. But yeah, I mean, when you think about like the financial, that's like a whole nother thing. But it's a lot. I
It
think
is.
that
I used to get the coupons in the mail
and give them to me.
and that's why I kept getting them, is because she used them.
I used them.
So I'm just gonna keep giving them to you.
It worked out because
Mm-hmm.
it's really expensive. That $5 every time I buy it is super helpful.
Super.
And the good thing is a lot of times the cashiers and stuff are like super chill about letting you do 2 separate transactions so that you can use both of them. So you can save $10 instead of just $5 over 2 quart. But I mean, like at that point, Oliver was going through a $40 container of formula like once a week.
Yeah.
It was really expensive.
Well, and that's the other thing is it's just like they talk about how efficient breast milk is, that there's not very much waste in breast milk, that the body's like take in most everything.
Yeah,
But
that's why
with-
there's just like...
Right. But with formula, there's more waste in their body and they require more formula. So the older they get, the more formula they are drinking, which is why they get up to like, some babies have 10-ounce bottles.
Yeah, we didn't get that high.
I mean, that's good.
Well, and as soon as we hit 6 months, we started doing baby food.
Right, which helps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
we
I mean,
never did cereal.
Right. Well, and that's, that's a conversation for another video and between you and your doctor anyways.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Breastfeeding Awareness Month. Here we are.
Raising awareness.
It's the end. But the beginning. That's all we have for you. I think you get to watch the kids eating sundaes. Maybe that already happened. Nope, that's nice. That's on Tuesday. Because banana splits. Tuesday is banana split day.
Yep.
That was fun.
Really, it's us, probably be us eating and them running around. Because that's what they do, because they're toddlers.
I mean, we're gonna go to bed. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, make sure you like this video.
Oh, shit. Subscribe to our channel.
Hit the bell icon. Don't be like Angel. Hit the bell icon and do like custom everything and get the notifications.
We
got
I just don't get every notification. I got the one for Tuesday.
Perfect.
But I did not get the one for Saturday.
Look.
YouTube needs to fix that shit.
I mean, bell icon. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Momestly Me. In fact, if you go look at it, if it's still 24 hours, no. By the time you see this, the story's gonna be gone. The kids were eating mac and cheese earlier on the couch with Angel, and Oliver had the handle of his fork.
He was watching.
mouth.
Yeah, they were watching a show, so he wasn't paying attention to how he was holding his fork.
And then she went over to
Maybe
Aria.
we'll reshare it. We'll reshare it on the
Aria
next one.
had the spoon that she was chewing on the spoon. I'm like, you guys are so cute. All right, for real this time. Thanks for hanging out with us. Bye, mums.